We're talking about what's happening in the 731 on the Hub City Now with your host, Tyrone Tony Reed Jr.
Hello, and welcome to Hub City Now. I'm your host, Tyrone Tony Reed Jr., and today we have with us Lieutenant Byron Taylor from the Jackson Police Department. Thank you for joining us, Lieutenant Taylor.
Thank you for inviting me.
Before we go into what we're going to talk about with the programs and events that's coming up, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how long you've been with the Jackson Police Department?
I've been with the Jackson Police Department 26 years. I worked in patrol for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in the crime prevention unit for 22 years. So I've had this job for a pretty good while.
Okay.
Originally from Ripley, Tennessee, which is about an hour away. Once I graduated from the high school, I spent 6 years in the United States Air Force. And then when I decided to get out, I came to Jackson, and I was able to be employed here at the Jackson Police Department.
Okay. Why did you want to go into law enforcement?
Well, when I went in the Air Force, that's what I did, and actually I enjoyed doing that. So when I decided to get out, I said, well, I would try it as a civilian. And actually, it's been a really great thing because by the fact I work in the crime prevention unit, I do a lot of the outreach and interact with the people in the public, and I really enjoy interacting with the people in our community.
Okay. And when you went to the Jackson Police Department, that's where you met your wife. How long have you all been together? How long have you all known each other?
Well, we met at the police department, and we've been married 24 years. Next year will be 25.
Okay, get it right.
Yeah. And I know the date too. I got all that down. But yes, so we met there. We have 4 kids, 3 boys, 1 girl, and so everybody's
all grown.
Everybody's grown. Yes.
And I actually met you when I first came here to Jackson and became a reporter for the Jackson Sun.
Right.
And you were Sergeant Taylor then.
Oh, yes.
And I've been having a hard time calling you Lieutenant, but you're a Lieutenant now.
Yes.
And what are some of the things you said is one of the best things you've done, becoming a police officer. In the time that we live now, how has it affected you or made you rethink things, or what are some of the things that have crossed your mind in the past couple of months with?
Well, I think one of the most important things we as police officers is to, allow ourselves to have people to have access to us and explain to them what's going on, answer questions, be available, and not be seen as somebody that wears a blue uniform. I mean, it's one thing when I deal with people, I'm just like anybody else, particularly when I talk with young kids. I'm like, hey, I'm married, I got a wife. Right. I wash dishes, I fold clothes. I mean, for 8 hours I come to work and I wear this blue uniform, but the other 16 hours, hey, I'm just like you guys. Right. I do all those different things. They be like, wow, you do that? I'm like, yes, I do. But probably one of the main things I really like about this is, matter of fact, I ran across a gentleman not too long ago. He said, I remember you from second grade. And he was probably about 23, 24. And I said, well, I'm getting a little old, but I've done the officer-friendly program, and I did a lot of different programs. So I run across people like that. Also, people out in the community from doing a national night out and doing the neighborhood watch. So, I enjoy meeting people and allowing them to get to know me and, try to answer questions about police work, because when you answer questions and alleviate people's fears, you sort of break down those barriers.
Right. Because, I think that's something that's kind of a stigma that's been in the community, that, the police officers, all they want to do is stop you and pull you over or arrest you for something. They don't even know who I am. They don't know my name. That's something I've heard from business people too. Right. Officers used to stop and get to know us, and now we don't know who they are, and they just drive by, and what can people in the community do to foster relationships with the police?
Well, I think it's a two-way street. Take the time. If you take the time, maybe stop and talk to the officer. Ask them some questions, sort of interact with them.
Right.
Anytime we do any type of event that's a non-enforcement type event, I really like to take time to talk to people, and I think that's a good thing for younger officers, any officers. If you're in an event where there's a non-enforcement environment, take the time to talk to people and answer questions and carry on conversations, and you sort of break down those barriers, and they don't have that. You don't have that stigma that you just want to arrest people and write tickets. So, it goes both ways. Communication is probably one of the big keys in this whole situation. Right.
And tell me, what are you the coordinator of right now? What division are you in?
I'm in charge of the Crime Prevention Division.
Okay.
We do the Neighborhood Watch. Mm-hmm. We do the National Night Out. We do the Citizens Police Academy. Any type of public event where they want officers to come out and sit up. We do health fairs, career fairs, job fairs. So pretty much anything where they want somebody to come out and set up a booth and pass out information. Do safety presentations. I've done safety presentations to second graders, kindergartners, senior citizens, any type of church groups, any type of safety presentation. We're willing to come out and do a presentation to a group because, I think education is a key component in crime prevention. Crime prevention, I always tell people, crime prevention is one of those things you can't measure it, but if you can teach the public how to be less likely to be a victim.
Right.
It's better not to have a number that somebody was a victim than, putting out the information to make sure they're not a victim.
Right. And now, because for as long as I've known you, you've been working with crime prevention. Because I used to call you for stories about, what you do when you're holiday shopping.
Right.
And, put your bags up. Don't sit them out in your seat, or things like that. Or. Right. And so you say you work for the Crime Prevention Unit, and according to the website, it says takes a proactive approach to citizen interaction with a wide range of activities, like you said. What is some of the feedback that you get from doing events like those?
Well, it's pretty ironic. Sometimes I run across people and they be like, "Man, I just saw you at another event last week, and I saw you here, and I saw you there." I said, but I enjoy that because that lets me know that I'm really out there talking to people, answering questions, because I have people ask about car seats. I have people ask about some of the new driving laws. I'll have people come out ask about some of these different new laws or different things or something that's going on in the neighborhood. I can get information and funnel it to the appropriate people. If you got speeders, I always give the disclaimer: if you call about speeding now, please don't be speeding, because when they write tickets, they just write everybody to speeding. So if you live in the neighborhood, they'll get you too. But the probably most important thing I really get out of it is about the fact that I'm able to interact and maybe help somebody by giving them some information that may prevent them from being a victim of a crime or help them in a situation that they've been in.
Right. All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk more with Lieutenant Taylor about some upcoming events in the coming months. So please come back. We'll be right back.
Depend on your tires. Let R&R Tire Express keep you on the road and safe with a complete set of new tires from the brands you trust, starting as low as $16 per week with our pay-as-you-go program. Choose easy payment options, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, and at R&R, complete installation with lifetime rotating balance, flat repair, and 12 months 24-hour roadside assistance is absolutely free. Only at R&R Tire Express.
Hello and welcome back to Hub City Now. I'm your host, Tyrone Tony Reed Jr. And again, we're pleased to have Lieutenant Byron Taylor with the Jackson Police Department's Crime Prevention Unit with us here today. Right now, we're going to talk about some of the events that are coming up that you should take notice of. The first one is the second annual Andy Bailey 5K Run, which is September 17th at 9 a.m. It's going to begin at 2234 Institute Street, which is the Jackson Police Department's headquarters. Can you tell us a little bit about that run and who it's in honor of?
Okay. Sergeant Andy Bailey is an officer that was killed in the line of duty here at the Jackson Police Department. And this is the second annual 5K run and walk they're going to be having.
Okay.
So it's going to start at 9 o'clock that morning. And in order to register for it, you can go to racesonline.com/event/Andy Bailey Memorial 5K Run. I know that's a mouthful, but that's how you register.
Okay.
And the funds from the Andy Bailey Run will go to what we call the Jackson Police Department Community Funds.
Okay.
And what they do with those funds, they'll sponsor festivals for the kids. They'll donate to different youth groups throughout the community. And different things that sort of we're giving back to the community.
Okay.
And particularly dealing with youth and kids.
Okay.
That's the one of the main goals of the Jackson Police Department Community Fund.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And I wasn't here when he was slain. I think what year was that? 2004.
Or I'm thinking.
Okay.
And I apologize for not having that. But
That's
yes,
all right.
yes.
That's all right. And because I remember my wife talking about it, and she actually had to cover it. It was in the parking lot of the Old Hickory Mall. Is that correct?
Well, that's where it initially started at, but it ended over on Orleans Street by the dry cleaners right there. And actually, the house that was there is not there anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's why it started at the Old Hickory Mall, but ended up over on East Orleans Street.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And so that's on Saturday, September 17th at 9 a.m. The 5K run walk in honor of Sergeant Andy Bailey.
Right. And so if you're a runner, which I'm not, or if you're a walker, so it's a 5K run or walk.
Okay.
We really encourage the public to come out and participate in that because it's for a good cause to honor a very good man that worked for the Jackson Police Department and served this community for roughly or at least over 30 years.
Okay.
Yes.
What was the turnout like last year? How many people did you all have?
I think they had a pretty decent turnout last year.
Young people, older people?
A wide range of people.
Okay, right. That's great. The second event is that's coming up is National Night Out, which is October 4th, 2016. It's actually called National Night Out Against Crime,
Right.
and it's from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And it's the 31st annual event?
Actually, that was a misprint. It's the 33rd.
The 33rd. Okay. And tell me a little bit about that. What is that? What is that about?
That is a national event, and now the main National Night Out is always the second Tuesday in August, but this is our third year.
Okay.
We moved to October. They have an alternative date.
Okay.
So it's the first Tuesday in October.
Okay.
And this will be our third year doing it, and we love it.
Okay.
It is not as hot
right,
as it is in August.
Right.
So the only drawback, the first year we moved from August to October, we still had the 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. and it was dark by 9. So people were like, we may need to move it back an hour, start an hour early. So that's why we do from 5 to 8.
Okay.
But this is an opportunity for you to have a block party, city officials, police department, fire department, EMS, different local officials. They'll come around to the different block parties. Last year we had roughly about 21, 22 block parties throughout the city.
Okay.
And this is a good time to sort of get to meet the officers, firefighters, all in like sort of in a non-enforcement environment.
Right.
The block parties range from where you just get together and set up some, lawn chairs in the yard, to where we have, some have the
big
potluck,
cookouts,
big cookouts and potluck dinners, and then I know Captain Holt over at the Safe Hope Center last year. They had a really big block party over there last year. Had a wonderful turnout. I mean, a lot of people came over to that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're interested in doing that, you can call myself at 425-8443, Lieutenant Taylor, and you can register, or you can call either Miss Kim Walker at 425-8441, and we'll start compiling the list. We'll start, about that second or third week in September, then we start people start calling in pretty on a regular basis, right? And our cutoff will be September the 30th.
Okay,
should be that last Friday in September, And the reason we have a cutoff date is because we have to get that list out to the fire department, to EMS, and all the other different organizations are going to be out. So they like to have the list over the weekend to sort of plot out where they're going to go. So that's why we really encourage people to get all that information called in before that.
Okay. And according to a website that I saw about National Night Out, it says the event is designed to heighten crime and drug prevention in local anti-program, generate support and participation in local anti-crime programs, strengthen neighborhood spirit and police community partnerships, send a message to criminals letting them know that neighborhoods are organized and that they are taking back their neighborhoods.
Yeah, and really, I mean, it's just a matter, if you just think about it in basic terms, when good people stick together, you can defeat the criminals.
Right.
I mean, because what they really rely on is good people not sticking together.
Right.
And not looking out for each other.
Right.
But if you know a neighborhood, if somebody come in and do something wrong and everybody knows and sees and they call the police, bad guys realize, hey, I might not need to go there because they're looking at me.
Right.
But if you go to a neighborhood and then do something nobody calls, nobody really cares about it, that's when they thrive. And so I always tell people, good people should band together, and that's how you win. And in conjunction with the police, we can't do it by ourselves at the police department.
Right.
The community can't be doing it by themselves, but a good partnership together, you can get things done.
Right. And like you said, I mean, you're basically saying evil thrives when good men do nothing.
That's right.
That's exactly what it is. The other event that's coming up is the second annual Brockmire Scramble, which is noon, October 24th, 2016. Tell me about that event.
Okay, and it's going to be at the Jackson National Golf Course.
Okay. Where is that located at?
That is at 304 Henderson Road, Jackson, Tennessee.
Okay.
And it's going to be a 4-man scramble, and it's the second annual Brockmire Scramble.
Okay.
Officer Brockmire was an officer here locally that worked with us. He passed away back in 2011 from a rare form of leukemia.
Okay.
So this is another event that you can get involved in, and the funds from this event also goes to the Jackson Police Department Community Fund.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where, if you like to play golf, I'm not a golfer, but if you like golf, this is a good way to go out and play golf. Just talk about some of the prizes they have real quick.
Okay.
They're going to have the longest putt, closest to the pin, the longest drive on the fairway, closest to the pin second shot, a hole-in-one. Then mulligans and red tees can be purchased the day of the tournament, 2 for $10.
Okay.
So those are some of the things that are going to be involved in it. And the 24th is going to be on a Monday.
Okay.
So give you a day off and you go out and just enjoy yourself.
I probably won't be there because I can't play golf. I'll lose. I'll lose.
All my kids, they love golf. They play. All 4 of my kids play with Hub City.
Oh, okay.
With Attorney Chapman, and I have to give him a little credit because all my kids learn to play golf. And, my youngest one, he was able to go to Lima, Ohio, a couple of years with them and compete in the big tournament up there. But I'm just not a golfer. I just hadn't picked up the bug yet.
Well, I'm no Tiger Woods. I may be Tony the Tiger, but I'm not no Tiger Woods. So when we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about what I've known Lieutenant Taylor for, known Lieutenant Taylor as for a long time, and that's the coordinator of the Neighborhood Watch program. We're going to talk about a little bit about that and how you can get your Neighborhood Watch started. We'll be right back.
As a former NFL football player, I never thought I would let this happen to me. I knew I had to do something. Thanks to VIP's weight loss and testosterone programs, I'm in the best shape of my life. I feel better, I look better, and live a healthier life.
Welcome back to Hub City Now. I'm your host, Tyrone Tony Reed Jr. And we're back here now with Lieutenant Byron Taylor with the Jackson Police Department. And we're about to talk about Neighborhood Watch programs because we know you all don't know each other. and you need to know who your neighbors are, and you need to get with the police department and get you a neighborhood watch program started. And we're going to ask Lieutenant Taylor, why should we have neighborhood watch programs in our neighborhood?
Well, neighborhood watch, and what's really ironic about this, in a lot of cases, they already have somewhat of an informal neighborhood watch program already together, because most of the time neighbors will talk to each other and let them know what's going on.
Or you have a nosy neighbor who always looking outside their window at
Now,
you.
I call them curious neighbors.
Oh, my bad. Curious neighbors.
Take care of your curious neighbor, because they will take care of you in the long run.
Right,
but the main reason, in today's society, we don't know all of our neighbors.
Right.
And by forming a neighborhood watch, you get to meet your new neighbors in the neighborhood. You also, with the social media and the internet now, we used to meet a lot, physical meetings. You don't have to meet. We require you to meet one time with the police during the year to stay active in the program. And a lot of people use the National Night Out to do that. You can use, there's several different programs that you use. One is called Next Door, where you can set up a group in your neighborhood where you can pass information back and forth. Or if you have somebody that's really computer savvy, they can set up an email tree, and you just send out emails about what's going on in the neighborhood. But the main thing with the neighborhood watch, we consider the extra set of eyes and ears for the police department to make us aware of what's going on, and working in conjunction with that, we can try to prevent some crimes. And if somebody's doing something wrong, you get the information to us, and then we can try to come over there and deal with them. But the main thing, it really allows you to meet your neighbors, be proactive in your neighborhood, because what I found, being proactive and getting out in front and doing things that are proactive really helps you in the long run, and you're not behind the 8 ball trying to catch up when something happens.
Right. And so the way it gets set up is someone contacts you and you come out and meet with those neighbors.
Right. Normally they'll contact me, and I'll ask them for a date and then a location, and then we'll come out and do a presentation. I have a golden rule. We do an hour and then we done.
Right.
If you want to hang around, we ask questions after that. But I've learned over these 22 years, you go beyond the hour, you lose people.
Right.
So normally it takes about 25 to 30 minutes of presentation where we're talking about the neighborhood watch, how it's set up, who's all involved in it, what all you need to do. And then we open up the floor for questions, because a lot of times there are questions about different things. We have, people ask about, people trespassing on their property or different things like that. So we try to answer all those questions. And then if it runs beyond that hour, we break, we stop the meeting. And then if anybody wants, we sort of hang around, and, wants to come talk to us one-on-one. Because a lot of times, sometimes people come talk to you one-on-one. They don't want to, ask the question
in front of everybody else.
Right, but they want to ask it privately. So we always hang around and answer those questions and try to take care of that. And as far as forming it, it's on the groups, whatever pace they want to work. The main thing we ask for is to get a chairperson who's the contact person, and once you get that, then we're up and running. We'll get your signs put up for you, and then we also have little neighborhood watch booklets we give out. If you have problems sleeping, you can read this. Good information, but it is boring. Very good information, but boring. But so we have information like that we have out. A couple of websites we give out, crimereports.com.
Okay.
You can go to that, and you can put in any address in the city of Jackson, and it'll show you what's going on around there.
Okay.
It also shows if you have any sex offenders in your neighborhood. And then the NICSL alerts, the city engineering, the police department, if any road closures, they'll send that on NICSL. You can either come on your smartphone or in an email form, or if you don't want that, you can just go to the NICSL site itself, put in Jackson, and then it'll show you all the different alerts that went out. If we're looking for somebody or we've captured somebody from the police department standpoint, we'll put that information out.
Okay.
But it's a good way to get a lot of information, so we give all that information out at the meetings.
Okay. Tips, crime prevention tips. And you were mentioning social media, and there's something that some people do that they probably shouldn't do. And that's they go on social media, they let people know that they're going on vacation.
I highly discourage that, because not only do good people look at social media, but the bad guys look at it also too. So, you got to be very careful about, now if you want to post pictures and all that stuff once you get back, but I'll be very careful about posting stuff and identifying my location while I'm actually away from home, unless I have a good, curious neighbor that's going to be watching my house for me. So, definitely keep that in mind. Right. Now, one big thing that I want to really get out, vehicles being broken into.
Okay.
Lock your doors. Don't leave anything in your vehicle that want to make somebody break into your car. And you know, because normally if you don't have anything that they can see, that they can physically get, they're probably going to move on. So always take anything of value out of your car. Lock your doors. If you see anybody hanging around in the neighborhood or going through parking lot looking cars, call us and report that. But the main thing is lock your doors and don't leave anything of value out from your cars.
Okay. What other tips do you have as far as preventing crimes or keeping things from like that from happening? What about another thing that people do is put pictures up of their kids and their names?
That's another thing you got to be very careful about, because when you're talking about pedophiles, and actually with some of the apps that you have now, like with the Snapchat, it only stays there for a certain amount of time and then, poof. And, these are things you got to be very careful about. I mean, technology and social media in a good sense, if it's used in a good sense, is good. But you got to think about when, criminals and pedophiles use that stuff, you got to be very careful about doing that. Also, if you have teens, you have to really monitor what they're doing on those smartphones, because sometimes I think we as parents, we don't realize that little smartphone is like a computer.
Yeah, it is.
And they can actually reach anywhere in this world and talk to anybody in this world, and we don't think about that sometimes. We think of it as, it's just a phone, but no. I mean, and they can be contacted by anybody through that. So you have to be very careful with teens and even younger kids that have those phones, who they're interacting with.
I remember a woman doing a story on a woman who came from Australia to meet somebody here.
Yes, that is true.
That's a long way.
Yes, but that goes to show you that, hey, with the little smartphone,
you can reach anybody.
And
they'll reach back.
And they will. And in this case, they came too.
They did.
And so you have to definitely keep that in mind. Yes.
Right. Well, we thank you so much, Lieutenant Taylor, for coming here and talking with us. And we'll be happy to have you on again with more events. There are some things that I want to mention before we close the show. September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and we really want to encourage you to go out and do what you can to help end childhood cancer. To find out ways to do that, visit stjude.org. That's hard thing for a lot of people who are facing that right now. Kids who are in the hospital who aren't able to go out and play like everyone else who's able to. So we want to do everything we can, whether that's do run and walk events or fundraisers or donate to help end childhood cancer. And there's one other thing, and my sister would get on me if I didn't mention this, since she calls me her reporter brother. We've talked a lot about Black Lives Matter in the past on this show and other causes, and there's another one that's actually going on right now about the Dakota Access Pipeline, where a tribe of Sioux Native Americans, I'll call them, are worried about this pipeline that's going to, they say, threaten their sacred sites and their drinking water near their reservations. So if you can, take time and go out and research that and find out, what their cause is, because just like we want people to back us up when we have problems or injustices, we should be willing to find out what their point of view is and to find out if there's any way that we can help. I'd also like to take the time right now to thank our sponsors for the show, Baskerville Funeral Home, Styles Menswear, R&R Custom Wheel and Tires, and the City of Brownsville. We really appreciate you tuning into the show, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.